Let us now focus our attention on the periodic table. The periodic table has 18 columns. The columns are usually referred to as groups in chemistry. So that means there are 18 groups. And you can see the label on top of the groups, 1, 2, up to 18. There are 7 rows in the periodic table. The rows are usually called periods. So that means there are 7 periods in the periodic table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've been asked several times why these 2 are also not counted as different rows. And the answer is very simple. Take a look at the atomic numbers. Look at 57 to 71. All the elements there should actually be in this small box. And look at atomic number 89 through 103. All the elements in that series should actually be in this small box. The periodic table extracted those 2 series out so that the table would not be too wide. Also, the elements in the periodic table can be divided into 2 camps. Let us call some of them Camp A elements. Camp A elements are referred to as main group elements. Main group elements are very easy to work with. You can mostly predict what you will get when you use them in the lab. We will learn a lot about them. And in the United States, we mostly classify the groups of elements based on these 2 camps. Let us identify the Camp A elements. Group 1 will now be called Group 1A, as you can see up here. Group 2, we will now call it Group 2A. Group 13 will now be called Group 3A, as you can see here. Group 14 will now be called Group 4A. Group 15 will be 5A. Group 16 will be 6A. Group 17 will be 7A, and Group 18 will be 8A. Please remember these groupings: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, and 8A. That is how we group the elements in the United States, and I'm going to be referring to them a lot. The second camp of elements, let us call them Camp B elements, are called transition elements. Transition elements are not very easy to work with. They are not easy to predict. Let me indicate them on the periodic table. These are the transition elements. These are very difficult to work with, and you will have some experience with them. Let us learn a little more about naming groups of elements in the periodic table. Group 1A elements are also known as alkali metals. Remember that. Group 2A elements are also called alkaline earth metals. Group 7A elements are also called halogens. Halogens are very common in nature, so please remember halogens. And group 8A elements, we're going to be talking about them a lot. Group 8A elements are known as noble gases. Why do we call them noble? Because they do not like to react. And because they do not like to react, scientists tried to understand why. And it was found out that it is because they are very stable. So group 8A elements, the noble gases, are the most stable elements in the periodic table. And because of that, all the other main group elements will try to be like them. Let me repeat. All the other main group elements, group 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A, want to be like group 8A elements. Everything they do is always with the goal of being like the noble gases. If you remember what I just said, the chemistry of the main group elements would be very easy for you to understand. Also, the traditional names of the last two series of elements at the bottom of the periodic table are lanthanides and actinides. Why are they called lanthanides and actinides? The reason is because for the lanthanides, the first element in that series, its name is lanthanum. And that is why all the elements in that series are simply named as lanthanides. While the first element in the actinides series, element number 89, is actinum. That is why all the elements from 90 to 103 are named as actinides. Let us take a look at some very simple questions so that it will nail down your understanding of the groups. Match the elements to the description. The metals in group 4A. To know that, let us take a look at the periodic table. Which ones are the metals in group 4A? Remember, group 4A is the international group 14. So, the best way to know this, again, is to start from carbon, draw your diagonal all through radon, and you know that these are the non-metals. The semi-metals, you start from boron to silicon to germanium, then do your zigzag all to astatine. So, let us now answer the question. Which ones are metals in group 4A? The metals in group 4A will be these ones. So, tin, lead, and flerovium. So, let us go back to the question. Which are the metals in group 4A? That would be tin and lead. Let us take a look at the second question, question B. Which ones are the non-metals in group 5A? Let us take a look at the periodic table again. The non-metals in group 5A are nitrogen and phosphorus. So, nitrogen and phosphorus. And the third question here, which ones are metalloids in group 4A? Let us take a look at the periodic table again. Metalloids, remember, are the ones in zigzag in the red color here. So that will be silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium.